Hello and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and EU4, the Cossacks playing as Russia. We are going to be going to war against the Ottomans almost certainly very soon, because they are fairly weak right now. They are trying to westernize. They just got to deal with a lot of various separatists, which it looks like they did manage to successfully put down, which is unfortunate, but it does mean that they are kind of in a weak position right now. So we're going to want to deal with that pretty much as soon as we can. One thing I'm going to look at is some upgrades for some buildings as far as like trade power. We actually do have universities now, which is interesting. That just would decrease our local development cost, which I don't consider to be a very high priority right now because we're not doing a lot of that. But let's instead take a look at some trade depots. See, we get 11 extra trade power there, 6.4 here. That's a lot. Yeah, trade depots could be worth quite a bit of power for me right now, trade power, so... Let's see if we can assert ourselves a little bit more in the Baltic Sea by doing so. We're about to finish our claim against Kalaka, which would be funny. Kalaka, are you allied to anybody? You are allied to Ming, so if I do decide to attack you, I would have to fight the second most powerful nation in the game, after myself, of course, Ming. Albeit, they are drastically behind the times in military technology in comparison to myself. Still, we'll deal with the more immediate issue of the Ottoman. See if we can crush all of them. As soon as our diplomat gets back, I think we actually just go ahead and start the war. Is there any reason to hold off? We're already at our cap on manpower. We literally can't spend it fast enough. And if we do fight against the Ottomans, we can do some nasty things to them, and then we'll take a peace deal with the Bukara to feed our vassal, the Timurids. Quite a bit of power, so I don't see really any good reason not to at this point. We'd have to fight against Bengal, which was not much of an issue for us in the last war. We can call in Bohemia and Poland, sure. The Ottomans would not join. They are 6,000 ducats in debt. Okay, so it turns out fighting the Ottomans is less likely. Do I have a CB against the Ottomans at all? I do. 1 conquest. Is that worth it, honestly? Bukara is also 3,000 ducats in debt. I don't know. Let's deal with the more immediate issue of fighting Bukara, I think. Let's go ahead and start piling some troops off this direction. We can handle Bukara with very little effort. We might as well. And if we decide we really want to fight the Ottomans, I can just fight them later before Theodoro gets annexed, which is going to take a while, I suspect. So, all right, sure. Holy War. Let's kill them. Is there any reason not to? No. Now, the Ottomans technically can join this war later, and they might, but I doubt it. One thing, by the way, I did realize I forgot is I think I still have military access with Persia and Shirvan. Yeah, I've been wasting diplomatic power for a long time, and that is really stupid. Really stupid. So let's go ahead and cancel those relations. Let's make sure we don't lose any more power for no good reason. There we go. All right. With that being done, let's jump on... I think this is their capital. Yep, Bukara. Seems fine. We'll actually split this. Let's put a leader in charge here. Put our siege leader there. Perfect. And we will just march around and kind of siege a few things down. We should be able to win this war with virtually no effort on our part. We are so technologically advanced compared to them. It's not going to be an issue. And we did get discovered in Turkestan, but we are about to finish it, so it's not a big deal. There we go. Yeah. We're going to make the Timurids a lot happier and a lot larger. They'll become an actually fairly useful vassal for me under that circumstance. I'm going to keep this 30 stack up this direction because I would like to have an army capable of responding to various different threats in my western half of the nation. So we'll keep them kind of close by. We have a bit of money, so we could probably build some more stuff. How about some more trade depots? It's going to cost a fair bit to upgrade all these things. A lot, in fact, actually. So what's the best bang for our buck to get us started? I see a 7.1 there, which is pretty good. 7.1 here, 5.34. 5.59. 5.6 in the North Sea. Actually, the North Sea is something I do want to have more control in. All right, we're going to build that. The North Sea is going to, I think, help prevent some money from leaving Novgorod. Actually, right now, it looks like 0 ducats are moving into the Baltic Sea. We have enough backflow, I think, in our trade power that we are collecting almost everything the White Sea is the only thing that's drawing out. So having more control here, of which we only have 46%, even though we own all the provinces, yeah, that could be good. That could be worthwhile for me. All right, I feel pretty decent about that decision. Let's take another look at Bukara. We're about to finish off that claim. There it is. Oh, we can't quite get there in an easy fashion, so let's go fight in Turkestan. Where are you going? You're going to go for my fort here? Well, it is a level 4 fort. Oh, something I need to point out, because I made a mistake, and I put a note in, I think, the video. I hope I did anyway, if I remember the editing process, but I should have waited to the end of the month to see what deleting some of these forts would do to my army tradition, because we are now making only 0.25 out of fully maintained forts. So it looks like those obsolete forts were doing something for us. Just not as much as a, fully up-to-date fort, which is to be expected. But I should have waited until the end of the month, because I thought that it wasn't making much of a difference, and I deleted a bunch all willy-nilly. Now, that being said, it still wasn't a huge loss for us. They weren't doing much, so, we managed to save ourselves, 5-6 ducats a month, which is pretty substantial. And that should mean... Let's see, we'll turn this off. That should mean that we're going to save enough money to start upgrading things a little bit more effectively. And they were a lot of redundant forts anyway, so I don't feel like it was a big loss. It's worth pointing out, since I was accidentally spreading some false information there. Looks like Ardalan is in this war, are they? Hello again. One would think that you'd have learned your lesson, sir. Poland is going to go deal with you for me. Never mind. Go forth, Poland. We'll let you take the brunt of it. Now we'll join. You'll be leading the center, but we'll get some of the benefit for having participated. Oh, maybe not. Looks like you just crushed them before they had the chance to respond. That was sad. Okay, good. So, knowing that that's true, let's go ahead and start sieging down what little territory you have left. We're going to take your dignity away from you. Oh, I'm getting texts. My wife is working. Oh, that sucks. Hang on. So sorry. Her business right now, well, not her business like she owns the business, but where she works is completely dead right now, no customers at all. Which sucks. It makes for a very boring day. If you've ever worked, hello, in retail, you know what that means. We are getting attacked in Bukara by Bengal, and they are losing thus far. Although it's a bit closer than it needs to be, so let's try to reinforce. Ooh, not good. That was a much, much larger stack than I was expecting. I don't know if we're going to win. Can we get there fast enough? I just need a little bit of reinforcements. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See what oh, wait. Well, okay. See what a technological advantage can do for you? Even though we had overwhelming odds against us in bad terrain, we're still going to win that. And because we won the fight before their reinforcements arrived, we do get a morale boost because we won the fight, which is really a good addition to the game, I think. If you win a fight, you should get more morale for your armies. So let's go ahead and keep them all there. But yeah, that was not great. Let's see if we can stomp on Bukara real quick, and then I'm going to send this army down south to try and reinforce that area before Bengal is able to regroup and cause some issues. The Timurids are refusing to fight for me right now because they hate me currently. So their liberty desire is high enough that they are kind of in an open revolt. Let's send this army here. Let's send this army down here. Peace offer from Ardalan because we immediately siege down their capital. Okay, Ardalan, let's take a look at you. And let's see if we want a peace deal. 41% war score already. I can't take any territory, but I could feed something off to Theodoro for funsies. Maybe. So... do we do this? Or is that going to cost me diplomatic power? It should, actually. 10, though. 10 diplomatic power is not a big deal. I don't know if I really care that much, though. Do I? Let's have you just annul some treaties. I don't care if you lose yours with Khorasan. That's not a big deal. Bukara, sure. And war reps and money. And since you're not willing to accept, even though I consider this to be completely reasonable, given the circumstances, we are going to make you suffer for a bit longer. Let's just go crush what little military you have left. Squish, goodbye. And we'll siege that all down. We can convert our last province that is currently Protestant, and that is Memel. I'm guessing a Protestant center of Reformation was responsible for that. That seems sensible. Let's see. Crush. Let's go ahead and actually send this army to just go siege up the north before they can retrain anything. I would rather not have to deal with it. So, this army is on its way down south to prevent any issues with Bengal once they do regroup. The pen is backed by the sword. The passports carried by our diplomats have come to represent the credibility and consistency of our national purpose. Secure in the knowledge that our ambassadors speak words backed with the full authority of our government, the emissaries are given smooth travel and fast horses. It's envoy travel time. Oh, joy. I was hoping for something a little bit better, you know, like, I don't know, prestige or power projection even. I mean, not like that I actually thought that would happen, but it would have been awesome if it had, because, hey, I think I'm projecting a bit of power if I can say that I will back up all my words with military action. So, whatever, though. It is what it is. We're going to need to get Bengal out of this war. I'm actually just going to go ahead and divert all my troops off this direction. Delhi is quite large. Look at them. Look at them. I wonder if India is going to end up forming, or Hindustan, I suppose, is what it is in this game. I wonder. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? We have a bit of money again. I'm actually going to look at building one more frigate, because it's fairly cheap, and it's an effective way to do the same thing of what I'm interested in doing, which is increasing my trade power. Trade power, where are you? 7.3 over here. We have 100% control here, so this actually is not critical to me. 11.4 in Siberia. Siberia, we actually only have 75% control, and some of the money is not going our way. You know what? Sure. Let's actually go ahead and just build a trade post here. It's probably not the most cost-effective of all things to do, but I think it's okay. Let's make sure that Siberia is a good, strong trade node for us. We do have most of the provincial trade power currently. Seems fine. All right. March. March. Forward. March. All of you. And you go down this direction. So, Ardalan, we're about to finish off with you. I could keep them in the war just for the war score aspect, but I don't know if I care that much about it. Looks like they managed to get rid of some sieges there. You're not gonna... Okay, Poland does not have enough people to actually do that, but whatever. Ardalan, you're still not... Okay, you know what? Screw you. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure we siege you down, because Poland does not have enough. There goes the siege of Bukara. Their capital is down and out for the count. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me hear you scream if you want some more. No. Grow song. Truce with Scotland has ended. Not that that's really relevant to us anymore, now that we know Sweden and Scotland are no longer bestest buds. I'm going to send a stack off this direction to see if we can deal with this fort. Actually, this is going to be an important front for us while we try to deal with Bengal. So let's make sure we grab some of the defensive territory and so on in that general area. Grab you. You're done. Grab you. You're gonna be done. And this is going here. And these two will reconsolidate and go down this direction. Actually, do we deal with Bukara up here? Sure, I guess. No, I don't feel like sending small stacks that might get squished unexpectedly. Let's just keep them all together. It's fine. So Bengal, huh? You've actually got a surprising number of forts. Given the circumstances, you do have the Indian Technology Group. Well, there go some more occupations for us. Let's get you down here. We're just going to continue to carpet siege these guys for a bit. We do have a bit of progress being made about the annexation of Theodoro. I want to consider this real quick. So the annexation is, we're expecting it to be done in 1635. Very long process. And it's going to cost us how much power? A lot is what it comes down to. Let me see. Theodoro, you as a nation have... what? There's a way to tell how much development you have, isn't there? We can integrate them, actually. I don't think that would make much difference, really, but... Alright, well, I suppose one other thing we could do. So, 1635... So 1635 to minus 1614. Whoops, I Yes, that's 21 years, I think. So 21 years times 12 months, that's 252. We're using up 6 power per month, which means it's going to cost a total of 1,512 diplomatic power to annex Theodoro. What we could do instead is enact a policy that reduces that by a whopping 20%, which means that that would save us about 300 power at the cost of 120 admin power, which I actually think is a very good deal. So now it doesn't really matter when you do this. Technically, we could be 80% of the way done, and if we popped this, they would instantly integrate entirely. So it shouldn't matter when I do this. I can do it later. It's not a big deal. But I think we are going to want to take advantage of that policy. There's really no good reason not to, as far as I can tell. Let's continue to march some of these troops forward. We'll deal with them. Are you done? You're not done yet, huh? Russia occupied Va. Good. That is my mission objective. I do not want to forget to take that from Bukara when I am done with them and want to throw them in the trash. So we're done there. Let's go ahead and start marching these troops. So, Ardalan, you're somehow up to high war enthusiasm, and I don't really understand why. So we're going to let that siege finish that Bohemia is so graciously accommodating for. Theodoro is crushing your remaining troops, and Poland, it appears, is trying to deal with Bengal for me. I approve of this. It looks like we have a big bunch going into the Highlands, though. So Bengal, what's your tech group, or what's your technology level? 14. We are 3 ahead of you right now. If I pile enough troops on there, we should be able to fight this, even though we are in defensive territory, and we might be able to protect our vassal at least somewhat. This seems okay. Maybe he'll cancel his movement and we won't have the problem in the first place, but it looks like he's going to... He is going there, right? Yeah, he is. Okay, and we finished with all these sieges as well. Just go ahead and jump everything we got onto this. The numbers advantage is not going to matter too much, but whatever. Development of ironworking in Pomerania. Various advances in the field of ironworking have meant that iron cannon is now both more efficient and reliable than the old bronze cannon. We have some stupid uprisings that won't be causing a lot of issues. So Pomerania. Oops. Crap. Nope. 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 Go back. We're there. Okay. There. Close. Thank you. Pomerania. You actually did manage to get up to military tech level 18. I am impressed, sir. That gives me some sort of idea of what we could expect from military tech level 18. Leather cannons, which doesn't sound like they're made of iron at all, but apparently. Combat width +2, improved flanking. Oh, wow, that's really good. Franking range. And also, we're actually getting surprisingly close to another idea group. What could we want for that, I wonder? Probably a military idea group, I would think. I just think that that would be the most effective at this point. We could, of course, go for exploration ideas, if we did want to do that. Let's take a quick look-see. If I do go for military, I want to go for defensive. I think that's going to make a bit of sense. It stacks up with the army tradition modifiers, which means we're going to be in a really good position. The morale of armies +15 is amazing. Land leader maneuver will be free. Not as good as, say, the shock and fire value from offensive, but it's okay. Land maintenance modifier will save us a lot of money. Fort defense and fort maintenance would save us a bit of money. Reinforced speed is okay. Land attrition is quite good, and attrition for enemies +1 is really good. And in fact, one of the reasons I like defensive ideas is it very much fits with the Russian theme. In history, Russia, whenever they got into wars that they were having trouble fighting, let's say Napoleon, for example, would just retreat off to the north and survive in Siberia, while the French armies suffered a lot of attrition, and they were so weak that they had to retreat, and the Russians just came in and took it all back, and didn't suffer nearly as many losses. So it fits kind of with the theme of what Russia is, what it means in essence to be Russian. Oh yeah, we're going to join in on this fight. Let's see if we can help them. Let's go jump on this little stack here. You're going to go there. You're going to go there. We do not need this leader in charge over here anymore. I'm not really sure what we want to do with him. We'll hold off on him for now, I guess, and teleport him to a more advantageous region later. Brandenburg no longer considers Sweden a rival. They have rivaled Bohemia, which is good for me because I want to fight Brandenburg at some point and take, what was it, Holstein? Let's see, hang on. Loyalty, patriarch, authority, prestige. Oh no, I'd rather gain the prestige and lose the... Yeah, no, sorry. Gain the loyalty and the patriarch authority and lose the prestige is what I meant to say. Schleswig. Schleswig? This is the province that we'd want to take to feed to Denmark because they have a core on it. That would be a war with Brandenburg, and the reason we did not fight them previously is because they were allied to Bohemia, but no longer appears to be the case. So, that would be an advantageous fight for us at some point. Don't know how much we would gain out of it, but would be somewhat advantageous. Bengal had to retreat before they could do much. Didn't we have a general in charge here? Did we lose a general? No. No, we didn't. Huh. What happened here? Gonna put our leader in charge, and let's go march on Bengal and start sieging down a fort or two. I want them out of the war because they are going to be the primary hindrance on our war score capabilities, and I want to take as much away from Bukara as is possible. I'm not too worried about how much admin power I spend, because we are easily going to feed a lot of it off to the Timurids. In fact, we should take a quick look-see at what they have a core on. So all of this stuff down to the south, huh? All right. Let's feed this all off to them. We'll feed them pretty much as we can. Like so. What else did you have? A couple up here as well. So do. These are not things I want to take. These are all things I am willing to feed off to my vassal if the war score allows. If it does not, not a big deal. In fact, let's take a quick look-see at what we could do. First off, we need to take Va, don't forget. That is ours. Thank you. I'm also going to take this to split up Bukara, because screw Bukara. So that's that. And then doop, 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 doop. Whoop, doop, doop, doop. That's a lot already. Doop, whoop. That's not what I wanted. I hate selecting the armies by accident. Doop, doop, doop. There's a 95% peace deal right there. Lots of territory goes to our vassal, the Timurids, even though they are kind of in rebellion right now. We would get what we need to finish our mission. We wouldn't expand as a lot on my end, but at least our vassal would be a lot more powerful. Maybe we do want to expand more on our end. Well, we would have border with Oirat, which means we would have Deus Vault against them, so technically I could snake my way over here anyway. It's all we need, really. Technically, this is all we would need. Are there any other really cheap provinces? Something we have core on here. Yeah, sure, why not? That's a 100% peace deal. We'll take that away. I mean, yeah, it's okay. We don't have to give so much to the Timurids. They would have a lot of separatism. Maybe we just give them that instead. Take all our claims. Most of our claims, anyway. Could be reasonable. Could be reasonable. We'll see. That said, though, I think we are done for this episode, so thank you guys for watching. This has been Pravus with EU for the Cossacks. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.